That was rough, right? Seriously, the wedding of Alliya de Batista and Shawn Finch from 90 Day Fiance has got to be one of the most cringeworthy, heartbreaking events ever aired in the entire franchise, and trust me, that's saying a lot when you think about some of the wild rides we've been on with these couples. Most 90 Day Fiance weddings hit snags because of things they can't control, like crazy short timelines, super tight budgets, or massive cultural hurdles. But Shawn and Alliya, they had none of that. Their gorgeous California wedding was meticulously planned, surrounded by a huge circle of loved ones, including Shawn's super supportive mom and his adorable dog Maxwell, and that's what made the whole thing so much more agonizing to watch. The day wasn't just awkward, it was genuinely heartbreaking. The rocky road to the altar. Let's rewind a bit. Shawn and Alliya's journey to marriage was anything but smooth, starting way back on 90 Day Fiance. Love in Paradise. We're talking about a 36-year age gap that brought a whole lot of complicated dynamics to the table. Shawn had his reservations about Alliya's desire for gender affirmation surgery, and remember how he pushed for an open relationship while they were doing the long-distance thing? Yeah, that was a whole messy chapter in itself. But here's the thing, they also had these incredibly sweet, genuine moments. Alliya moving all the way from Brazil to Los Angeles felt like a huge testament to their love, showing that they could conquer even the toughest circumstances. Their sheer optimism was palpable, and that's precisely why their catastrophic wedding day felt so incredibly unsettling. It was supposed to be their triumph, their happily ever after moment. A bride's brazen tardiness and a groom's boiling rage. As the wedding day dawned, you could almost feel Shawn's anxiety. He was worried Alliya wouldn't stick to their timeline, and well, his fears were absolutely justified. The ceremony was set for 5 p.m., and Alliya was supposed to be getting ready right there at the venue. But even with a friend trying to keep her on track, Alliya just couldn't seem to speed up her hair and makeup. There was this bizarre lack of urgency about her, despite Shawn and all their guests baking outside in over 100-degree heat. Every minute that ticked by, you could practically see Shawn's fuse shortening, and honestly, who could blame him? When Alliya finally made her grand entrance at 6:50 p.m., nearly 2 hours late, Shawn had completely run out of patience. He stormed up to her, his face a mask of belligerent anger. There was no "wow, you look beautiful," no soft words of welcome. Just a harsh threat to leave. While Alliya was definitely way out of line with her tardiness, I couldn't help but feel a pang of sympathy for her in that moment. She looked utterly blindsided, trying so hard to hold it together, but her humiliation and heartbreak were painfully obvious. A 3-sentence ceremony and secondhand embarrassment. With their entire future hanging in the balance, Shawn and Alliya pushed forward with the ceremony. But Shawn made absolutely no effort to hide his fury. He actually ordered the officiant to rush through it, skipping straight to the vows. It was like he just wanted to get it over with, no matter what. As they walked back up the aisle as husband and wife, a guest, clearly stunned, asked if the ceremony had been a whole 3 sentences, and then a voice that sounded unmistakably like Shawn's coldly replied, "Welcome to citizenship." Ouch. Just ouch. Can you even imagine the awkwardness radiating through those guests? I was cringing with secondhand embarrassment for both Shawn and Alliya, watching them completely squander what should have been a beautiful celebration of their love story. Alliya later confessed her profound disappointment and confusion. The moment she'd dreamed of her entire life had been brutally cut short, and she was made to feel like a burden on what was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. It was just heartbreaking to witness. An injured mom and unbearable tensions. Adding another painful layer to the unhappy day was the unfortunate incident involving Shawn's mom, Jean. Just before the ceremony was supposed to start, Jean fell and hurt her ankle and hip, and bless her heart, she insisted she could wait until after the wedding to go to the hospital. Shawn was understandably beside himself with worry, and I'm sure that played a massive role in his obnoxious behavior later on. But here's the kicker. During those 2 agonizing hours Alliya kept everyone waiting, Jean was sitting in the front row, in excruciating pain, with her leg propped up on a chair. Alliya's brazen tardiness wasn't just inconvenient, it was a profound lack of respect for Jean, who had been so incredibly welcoming and maternal to Alliya throughout their journey. Jean's injury just ratcheted up the stress on an already profoundly awkward day, making Alliya's inconsideration even more devastating. A bitter toast and lingering doubts. By the time dinner finally started, the tension in the air was thick enough to cut with a knife, and Shawn, instead of trying to smooth things over, only made it worse. During an obligatory toast, he thanked his guests for coming, and then added an insult directed squarely at Alliya. The guests were absolutely stunned. Look, Shawn had every right to be upset about the delay, but the way he treated Alliya, especially in front of everyone, ruined the day for everybody else. He later admitted in a confessional that Alliya's disregard for him when it truly mattered, on their wedding day, triggered deep-seated concerns that she would never truly be there for him. Shawn and Alliya's wedding day wouldn't have been quite so horrifying if it hadn't been so utterly full of potential. This 90-day fiancé couple had been through so much, and they'd orchestrated what should have been a perfect, joyous celebration of their love, with only themselves to blame for the sad turn of events. It makes you wonder if Shawn and Alliya's wedding wasn't just a disastrous day, but a powerful sign that some problems, no matter how much you try, are simply insurmountable. What do you think was the biggest misstep on their wedding day?